I don't think most women can actually genuinely understand how lonely the majority of men are.
Yeah.
And you need to truly understand, if you're Joe Schmo, average in nearly every way, in Starbucks working, you ain't getting a DM ever.
The average man is invisible to women. Here are their stories. Episode 2. Access Granted.
I don't think most women can actually genuinely understand how lonely the majority of men are.
Yeah.
And you need to truly understand, if you're Joe Schmo, average in nearly every way, in Starbucks working, you ain't getting a DM ever. You girls will never be lonely. As much as you might be unhappy with the possible suitors, you can at least talk about and flirt if you feel sad. Yeah. There are men out here in the world who have genuine loneliness. And I can prove this statistically. Why do you think it's all the men themselves compared to the women?
But could we blame this on lack of communication?
No, we're going to blame this. No. I'm just saying to you.
I'm just asking. I'm just very curious.
The men with,
telling you right now.
The men with absolutely zero partners, do you know what they try? They certainly try communication. They're trying. You're just ignoring their DMs.
Thirsty.
Trust me, they're trying communication. The reason is that we have to understand we live in a world, and we've always lived in a world where women have a natural inclination to align themselves with the top tier males. I can prove this to you. You see these chicks, they see a rapper in the club, they want to with the rapper. Do you think they believe that rapper is loyal? No, they don't give a He's the Dom. That's the game. It's always been the game. It still is the game. So when we're talking about how it's harder for men than women, we're talking about the vast majority of men. Because you women, because you're all beautiful and you're all smart, most of you only interact with top tier males. So you're like, well, I have these problems, but he has all these because he's a G. Most men ain't shit. You know that. If you think about it, most men ain't shit. Go walk down the high street. Tell me how many of them stand a chance with you. Usually fucking zero. Most men are desperately lonely. Desperately. So you want to sit here and talk about the struggles of life as a woman. There are men out here that the male suicide rate is so many times higher than women for a reason. The life as an average man is brutally depressing. And I'll tell you something. I don't consider myself an average man. I'm a very successful man, right? I have a few genetic gifts. I've worked very hard. I have financial gifts. I worked for them, right? I've got accolades. I've got everything, right? My life's great. But life as an average man, Joe Schmo, is literally fucking horrible.
I wanted to start this series basically so the average man can tell their side of the story, because on the internet today, we just don't hear their side. Like I said in the last video, it's all about either high value men or the very low value men, for lack of better words. But here, I just wanted the average man to be able to tell their side of the story. And it took a while, but the first video got exactly the response I wanted. So in this video, we're going to go to the comments in the last video and we're going to hear some of those average men's story. And we're going to open up the call lines for the comment section. So without further ado, let's hear from our first comment. Comes from Greg. What's going on, Greg? What's your story?
Hey, I appreciate you featuring my comment. I just wanted to say, some men are just fed up with competing in the constant rat race, like myself included. For me, I just want to basically be left alone so I can sit by and watch the world pass, as I drink a cold beer or two. The older I get, the less I care what anybody, especially women, thinks or wants. These days at 58 years old, my time is usually spent making myself happy, and I don't have the tolerance, or the patience to put up with a lot of useless, mindless, and frankly childish BS that I deem pointless. And, if I were being completely honest, most of this, I don't care anymore. Attitude comes from many bad relationships and 2 failed marriages, the second one lasting 14 years, where I was constantly mistreated, disrespected, falsely accused, taken advantage of and then taken for granted. I have been lied to, cheated on, manipulated, and emasculated so much, that I have zero trust in most women, and I can list a lot of bad experiences that the repeating theme was, I thought they loved me, but instead they were just using me. And, I am only, slightly above average, as far as men go. I am 5 foot 11 inches tall, and I was thin and fit most of my adult life until I became medically disabled. However, I still struggled with women, because no woman wanted to date a man who weighed less than they did. And no matter how much time I spent in the gym, I never seemed to gain any muscle mass. I also always had decent jobs, but my work never paid me a lot of money. I'd earn normally between $18,000 to $24,000 a year as a blue-collar electronics assembly worker, and I could increase that to around $24,000 to $32,000 a year, working a bunch of overtime, in the 1980s. But even back then, that was still never good enough to land a quality woman in my life. Before I go, thank you for giving men like me a space to tell my side of the story. Looking forward to seeing your channel grow. More spaces like this for men are necessary and welcomed.
Thanks, Greg. I really appreciate you getting up here and telling your story. Thank you for your service as a blue-collar worker. And look, man, do what we're all doing and get that passport, travel the world, and see what else can happen for the rest of your days. Once again, thank you. So let's check out the next caller. I think we have Hassan in the comment section.
Hey, thanks for having me on. In my opinion, it's not average men who are invisible now, it's imperfect men. You have to be 8 out of 10 in every attribute, height, looks, and money, and all those attributes need to be at the 80th percentile, meaning literally the top 1%. And even if you have to have all that, you will still get little attention and interest. It starts with height. I'm proof. I'm 5 feet 9 inches in shoes, and even if I fudge to 5 feet 10 inches, I'm still invisible despite being 100% geographically free, meaning I can travel anywhere anytime and free from the 9 to 5. I own a business that generates 7. Yes, that's right, 7 figures. Even if I disclosed all this info on a dating profile, dress well, be fit/athletic, and be well-spoken, women from my own culture still ignore me, especially if they are in the US or any Western country. Thanks for the shout-out, keep up the good work.
Appreciate you coming on, Hassan, and telling your story, giving your opinion. Average men need to be heard, and that's what this channel is all about. Now we have one more caller in the comment section, and it's Mr. L. He has some words of encouragement coming from a spiritual sense. Mr. L, let me hear what you got.
I appreciate you having me on. We always mention how to become a high-value man. I'll tell you all something, you'll become high value when your spirit aligns with God's words. You don't need money, you don't need girls, not even the approval that most of you seek. The only thing that will ever matter to you is living to take care of your mind, body, and spirit, so nothing can move your mind. You don't need to be high value in the eyes of society, but only to God Himself, for yourself, and for the people who really matter in your life. Opposite attracts. You'll start to attract more in life, the more you believe in something. When you do, you'll start to carry this aura till the day you pass on. God bless all, and listen with the heart, not your head, and you'll start to feel something special.
I appreciate the words of encouragement, Mr. L. So you guys, remember, this is a space to tell your story, but this is also a space where we can help each other achieve higher goals. You want to level up just enough to get yourself out of the matrix, whether that's going your own way and living out the rest of your days in peace, or if you want to take your talents overseas to explore what the rest of the world has to offer. You still have to be the best version of yourself to do that. No matter if you're 25 or 55, you still have to be the best you can be in order to live the life of peace that we all want. So if you like this video and you like this content, please go ahead and subscribe to support the channel, as well as hitting the like button and that bell notification icon so you never miss any of our videos. And remember, guys, we are all in this together.